Phenom Talent Marketplace is a personalized experience that empowers your employees to build relationships, explore career options, and receive hyper-relevant upskilling opportunities. By clearly tying activities to career outcomes, Talent Marketplace drives better engagement, satisfaction, and retention. Let's take a closer look at how different areas of the product provide value to you and your employees. So the Phenom Talent Marketplace actually takes data from your other systems, from your HCM system, from your ATS system, from a learning management system if you have it, or a learning experience system. And it sits on top of those systems and provides an experience layer. So we have different plugins for different systems that you can use to pull in job information, you can use to pull in profile information, you can use to pull in course information. And the Phenom system will normalize all that data and provide a unified, consistent experience for your employees. So what you're seeing here is just some of the plugins that we have, for instance, with Workday, with SuccessFactors, with iSIMS, Taleo, Oracle, other systems, a lot of them actually. And what we're doing is we're creating that baseline of data so that when you get into the system, you have a profile that you can start with. So once we set up all the integrations and we do any historic data migration and we get everything set up in the system, your employees will then get access. So depending on how you want them to get into the system, they might see an email like this where they're invited into your talent marketplace. Or some of our customers have it on their career site where employees can go and log in. We use single sign-on, so whatever your single sign-on setup is, that was what we will use for your employees to access the system so they don't have to worry about remembering a different password or username. If you have employees that don't have corporate email addresses, we can do a username password combination or a one-time password access, so there's some flexibility there. But once they sign in, they will land on the homepage. Now, this homepage is dynamic based off of how long the employee has been at your organization. So it is tenure driven, so they will see different activities based off of whether they've been there for a day, a week, a year. So on their first day, we're not showing them new jobs that they should be looking for. Maybe we're showing them options to network. Maybe after 3 months or 6 months, we want to get a referral from them. Maybe after a year, we want them to start to build out a career path. So this will change dynamically based off of how long they've been at the organization, and then also what activities they are undertaking in the platform also. So it's really personalized in that way to really provide the most relevant information to them. You'll also see that there's a chatbot that they can interact with as well. So depending on how they are more comfortable in the system, they can come in and search for jobs here, or they can search for jobs right up top. They can perform a number of different actions right in the chatbot. So really just what is their preference? And again, any results that are returned in the chatbot are going to be personalized to that employee as well. So the first step is the employee profile. We will prompt them when they sign up to add to their profile. We will prompt them while they're using the platform to add to their profile to get better recommendations. As I mentioned, the integrations will bring in some baseline data. So anything you have in your HCM system will form the foundation for this profile. But we want the employee to be able to add to it over time. So we'll bring in their job details, but if they have a resume, we'll bring that in also. But we want them to keep it updated. So even if they don't have those things in your HCM, we prompt them to add it here in order to have the most relevant information for driving the recommendations in the platform. So there are different sections of this profile and they can add to them if they have them. If they don't, they can leave them blank. They also get to decide on the visibility of the profile. So if they want to make their education visible to everyone or just visible only to themselves and to their HR person, same with experience. And then the big thing that drives a lot of the functionality in the platform are the skills. So skills here can come from a number of different places. They can come from the resume. We'll pull them in automatically. Employees will also have the ability to come in here and add skills. Behind the scenes, we have the Phenom Skills Ontology, which is driving these recommended skills based off of skills that the employee already has or their job title, so that they can easily add them or come in and type something new. Again, they're going to see a list that's kind of ordered by what they might have already on their profile, or based on that job title again. And then we also support proficiencies. So we have out of the box proficiencies, 5 levels that you can use, but we also allow you to customize these levels as well. So if you have 8 levels, if you have 3 levels, that can all be specific to your organization. If you have no levels, we don't have to have proficiency either. So you can leave that off the product altogether. If you have different levels of proficiency in different areas of your tech stack, for instance, maybe your learning system has 8 levels and maybe your HCM has 3 levels. So we will go through as part of that integration exercise, and we will map the levels appropriately so that there's a consistent experience here for the employee. The other thing that I can do here is I can ask people to endorse my skills. So you'll see some of my skills that have been endorsed by my boss. You can come in here and ask other people to endorse skills, type ahead whoever might be in your organization. You can then come down here and choose which skills you want to have endorsed, and it will send a message to that person in order to asking them to endorse. You may also get asked to endorse skills, so you'll see an email similar to this one right here, where somebody's asking you to endorse, and you'll be able to jump in and endorse those skills. As I said, every skill that gets endorsed has a little number next to it, so you can see how many people have endorsed it. You'll also see down here different requests that you've sent out to people for endorsement and whether they have been received or not. Your employees won't see people not endorsing them or declining to endorse. They just the request will just sit out there, so there will be no negative effect to that as well. Here we also have excel at your role. So these are the skills that are required by your role according to your manager and to HR. And here's how your skills rack up against them. So you can come in here, employee can add skills as necessary, can change the level of skills as needed, just to make sure that that profile is kept up to date. And so they can understand exactly where they need to be in order to kind of meet the minimum requirement of skills for a given role. As they build out this profile, that will impact the recommendations that they can make, and will also show them what options they have from a career pathing perspective. Roles are recommended based off of the profile information that they've provided, and skills and competencies mapped to those roles by the Phenom ontology. Skills data comes directly from the ontology and can be annotated by the organization. Competency information comes from the company itself. So we do not define competencies, you do, but we can use them for matching purposes. So the employee can come in here and choose a role, and if there's not anything that's recommended that suits their fancy, then they can actually come in and explore all roles. So they can come in here and filter by different information, and they can again click into these roles and understand some more details about skills gaps, about competency gaps. They can also look at people who are in the role currently, so they could reach out and ask some questions about that role. But let's just say I liked my recommendations, so I'm going to go back and choose one of those, and then also choose where I would like to end up. And then that will drive my career path, which will then provide me personalized recommendations for upskilling that I can use to get from my current role to my next role. Maybe folks are ready to make a move now, so they can go to the home page. There will be jobs recommended for them that they can dig into, or maybe they don't see anything here that they like, so they can go ahead and browse jobs. Maybe they just want to search for something up here, and we have type ahead search that is going to provide some potential matches. You can also come down here and use the different filters to show different jobs as well. So maybe I want to work in Ambler, and I want to maybe say human resources. Cool. So now I have this job available to me, so I can click in and get more information. If there's nothing here that I like, then maybe I can just create a job alert for this, and then I will can choose how frequently I get similar jobs in my email, daily, weekly, or monthly. And then once a similar job opens up that matches my search criteria, I can take a look at that. If I click into a job, I can get more information about that job, and I can also, of course, see kind of information about my skills and how they fit against that job, and also recommendations for learning that might help me close the gap for this given job. I can apply to the job right now. It's a very simple application process that can be set up so you don't have to take your employees to a different system. Because they're employees, you already have a lot of information about them, so you can make it very simple or make it as long as you want. You really have flexibility there. Maybe I'm not ready to apply, so I can save this job and it will show up in my saved jobs. Or maybe I'm just looking for something that is kind of close to this. I can create a job alert, and I'll get in my email whatever frequency I choose, jobs that are similar once they become open. And all my alerts are in one place for me to manage. So I can come here and I can see what alerts I have set up. If I want to trash one, I can. That's no longer relevant. If I want to edit the criteria of the alert or change the frequency, I can also do that from this screen. If I do ultimately apply to a job, then I will come in here and I can see application status for jobs that I've applied to previously, and also some tips about interviewing and things like that internally. So everything is tracked here from an application perspective. So this portal isn't just about jobs, it's also about making connections with other people in the organization. So there's a couple different things that employees can do from a networking perspective. They can search the organization for other folks that might have similar aspirations, skills, things like that. So they can come in here and get an idea of how many employees are in the organization. If there's overlap from a history perspective, like if they went to the same university or they worked at the same company previously, they'll also have visibility to that. They can come in here and filter stuff down, so they can say, okay, yeah, I'm really interested in the marketing skills, so let me filter it down to that. And then they have an opportunity to kind of reach into these employee profiles and learn more about them, and then they can reach out and network with those folks. So it makes it very easy to make connections, like I said, and to find other folks that have like backgrounds or like interests that you can use to really build the types of relationships you want to have within an organization for your employees. And all of this information that is on this profile is driven by the visibility of the employee and the visibility of the organization. So the organization can decide as a whole what information they want visible to other employees, or the employee also gets to decide what information is visible to other employees as well. So, and also speaking of trying to find folks with like interests or backgrounds, employee resource groups are also supported in the platform. So you can come in and promote these different groups. You can assign administrators that will be able to add information to these groups, and you'll be able to promote these to your employees via campaigns in the CRM, so that they can understand what's available here in the organization. So, and you can see some of the information that's available from an ERG perspective. Events are supported by the platform as well, so you can have internal events, both generally for the organization or for an employee resource group. You can promote different jobs specifically for this ERG as well. And then membership can be visible to folks, so they can network and form kind of connections with folks that they might share a similar background with. Also, just in general, if employees are looking for more information about roles within the organization, just maybe not from people, but roles themselves, then they can come in here and do a search for all of the roles that are available in the organization. and kind of understand some of the details of those roles, right? Again, looking at skills gaps, we also support competency gaps. So if there are competencies that your organization has that want to promote, for our organization, they're more like core values, but they could be specific to a department, specific to a team, specific to a job type. We can use competencies for showing matches of jobs and how an employee profile would stand up against that job. And they can also see who are the folks that are in this role to help drive that networking. So look for people, look for roles, look for titles, a couple of different ways that they can go out and meet people and form those connections that we talked about. So as we mentioned, the employee profile is a big driver of a lot of the functionality in the platform. So within the profile, we talked about some of the sections in here that are relevant to driving recommendations. So skills is a big one. And then, as I mentioned, we also support competencies. Skills come from the Phenom skills ontology. So we will generate skills for different roles, and employees can add to them. Managers and peers can endorse them. You can also integrate assessment information if you want. And you can also have a baseline of skills for given roles as well. So there's a lot of flexibility on the skills side. All of that is driven by Phenom data. Competencies are driven by company data. So these are competencies that you guys would draft and that we would bring into the system. So again, it shows a snapshot of the competencies and then what are the competencies or skills required for a given role. Within a career path, the future role will also have a skills gap associated with it. So you'll be able to kind of see here, what are the skills that you have, what is the gap, and what are the courses that you might want to take, what are the gigs that you might want to participate in, or what are the mentors that you might want to associate with. So first up is really that learning recommendation. So right here, there are some course recommendations from the LMS, from the LXM that are being automatically mapped to roles and skills. So when we do the integration, as long as we have a course title and a course description, then we can map skills to it. If you have skills mapped to it, then we will bring that information in as well. And we will automatically serve those up as recommended courses based off of that skills gap. You'll also be able to come in here and search for a course. The employees can find specific courses if they want to take something specific from a skill perspective. And you'll also be able to kind of look at all courses and save courses based off of what your preference is. Gigs are really short-term projects. So you'll see that a gig is really something that might take a few hours to a few days, but there are skills associated with that gig. So a manager within the organization will typically post a gig, and they'll post some information about that gig. You can see here what category is it, when does it start, how long is it supposed to last, how many positions are open for it, usually a brief description and some skills that can be gleaned from this gig. Gigs will be recommended in a very similar way based off of that skills gap that you have in your current role, based off the skills gap that you have in your future role in your career path. So you can see here the type of gigs for my given role, and I can click in and apply to them. It's a very simple apply process, basically one click and you're off to the races. The Talent Marketplace also supports mentoring for upskilling, so you can come in here and search for a mentor. Again, this is based off the employee profile, so it's using the same data in order to make matches, but mentoring actually uses additional data to help drive better matches. So you can see things like specific language that a mentor speaks, or lived experiences, things like maybe I'm a working parent, right? That might make for a better relationship between mentor and mentee. So So they're able to come in here and filter down to a specific set of skills or maybe location, things like that, in order to find the best mentors. They'll send a request to that mentor. Once it's accepted, you can see it here on your My Mentor screen. So you could reach out to them via email. You can add attachments here, any docs that might have been shared by your mentor. You can also add notes from recent sessions. So, session, what happened, any action items, things like that. All of that is going to be tracked here so that you can see the different things that happen during sessions. And then once the mentorship is complete, then you can mark it complete and the skills will be added to the employee profile. Or if the employee wants to cancel because they're not getting any benefit out of it, they can also do that from here. Or if you want to be a mentor, then you can come in here and fill out a mentor profile. The organization gets to decide how many mentorships you can handle at one time, but you also can say, based off of your workload, whether you want to be active or not active. There's also the opportunity to do private mentor groups. So invite only, so that only certain employees in the organization and maybe only certain mentors in the organization would be part of this group. And they would only be able to see it in their talent marketplace, not in the other employees' talent marketplace. So you can have both a general mentorship group and private mentorship groups based off of how your organization wants to set up mentorships. But all of that is driving towards upskilling options for the employee, so that you have learning recommendations, you have gigs or short-term projects that are very easy to apply to, that can be posted by managers within the organization, and you have mentorships. So the talent marketplace, besides being a great place to promote jobs internally for folks, to promote career movement, it's also a good place to promote referrals. So, your best employees probably know other good folks that would be great to bring into the organization. So they can come in here and make referrals. So there are several different options for referring. You can mark critical or priority jobs, ones that need to be closed very quickly, in your job feed that comes over from your ATS. And then the employee can come in here and we'll be able to see those jobs, and they can maybe take a closer look. They can refer a friend, so they can provide some information about that friend. Of course, we want to know that the friend has granted their permission to have the information in the system. So they'll provide some basic information about that person. John Test, email at Test. How they know them, and these questions are configurable, so you can add certain ones that you might want to include. And then send a referral. The referee will receive an email where they will have the opportunity to say, yes, I do want to apply for this job and store my information in your system. Or no, please don't store my information in your system. All of that is under their control. If they don't want to share through email, your employees also have the opportunity to share via social media. So they can share over Facebook or X, Twitter. They can share to LinkedIn. They can email it separately to employees as well, or they can just copy this link and send it in whatever means necessary in order to get that referral going. Everything will be tied back in the system to the employee so that they can keep track of their referrals, and you can keep track of the employees that are referring. When I look here, I can see the status of different referrals in the system. For instance, this one that just got sent out is pending application. And then this one, this older one was closed, but you can see here where I was able to see that this person was interviewed for the job and actually selected for the job. There's different ways that you can foster referrals as well. So there is a leaderboard here where you can drive some competition among the teams in order to maximize the number of referrals that you're getting. You'll also see recommendations for employees of people they may know from the schools they attended or from the companies that they previously worked at. Once a referral is in the system, then you'll be able to get recommendations for that referral for additional jobs. Maybe they don't know what job their friend would be interested in, and they don't see anything in the list here that makes sense to them right away. They can choose this Find a Friend, and they can upload their friend's resume in order to get recommendations, or they can just put in the current job title and their preferred location, and they'll be served up recommendations right away. All of this information goes back into the CRM, and it's available to recruiters so that they can also follow up once the candidate approves the data being stored and foster the engagement with that referral. So referrals are a great source of candidates, and they're supported within the system as well. The Talent Marketplace provides a great experience for your employees to search for careers, to look for open jobs, to apply to those open jobs, and to refer friends. That information is extremely valuable to your talent acquisition team, and so it is available in the CRM. So you can see here on this job that I have a number of different folks that are leads and applicants for a job, and I am able to kind of filter by employees specifically and see which employees have applied to this job or which have at least shown interest. So the good thing about the CRM is that you can actually, if an employee is looking at a job, they'll show up as a lead against that job. That of course is configurable, but it gives your internal recruiters the opportunity to reach out to those employees and possibly have a conversation with them. So really one-stop shop for your recruiters to have both external and internal talent that's interested in jobs and understand where might make the best place to source a potential candidate, internally or externally. They can also come in here and maybe they want to filter by referrals, right? So I want to say, yes, show me all my referrals for this job. And boom, I have 27 referrals as well. You can see this little purple icon that indicates that it's a referral. Again, referrals are good leads. So the recruiter can follow up on those as well. Maybe you have a job that has no leads against it and you need to get some. That is also possible in the system using the AI discovery tool. And the AI discovery tool actually biases towards, in a good way, employees first. So you'll see here all the employees that are a good fit for this job. You can see their fit score, which is based off of their job title, their experience, and their skills. And you can add them to the job right from here in order to, again, foster that internal mobility and get good internal candidates into jobs faster, because hiring internal candidates is a shorter life cycle and usually a cheaper life cycle. Maybe you don't have a job. Maybe you're trying to build up a talent pool or pipelining for a job. You can also come in here and filter employees. Maybe you are looking for employees that have a certain skill. So you can come in here and say, yes, I need somebody that has the skill of Java, or at least contains the skill of Java, and it will come in here and filter down the employees so that you can then create a project or a talent pool or a pipeline for that future need right from here as well. As a talent manager or an HR business partner or a manager of a team, all that employee profile information is extremely valuable. So we have two additional tools that complement the Talent Marketplace. Employee Relationship Management, or ERM, is the tool where talent managers or HR business partners can come in and see all of that employee profile information, as well as career aspirations and any upskilling activities that the employees are participating in. They can also use this tool to create succession plans, talent pools, workforce plans in order to engage them for development activities or other upskilling activities, or just for planning purposes to understand what roles and skills exist at the organization. So you can see here, I'm looking at a role and all of the skills that the Phenom system has associated with it, and all the employees that have this role. And then also I can look at common progressions into and out of this role as well. So this is kind of the back-end driver, the administration of the whole system for HR business partners and talent managers to engage with employees. And then people managers or team managers can come in and get a comprehensive view of their employees as well. So they can understand, what are the skills that they have, what are the recommendations for learning, what career options are available to them, are they participating in those career options, and can the manager help facilitate moving along in that career path? So managers, talent managers, HR business partners have these 2 additional tools. And if you'd like to learn more about those, check out the ERM product tour, check out the People Manager product tour.